Hello everyone, Raging Angels here. I'm going to do a movie review. Well, comparing as well. I'm going to review Beauty and the Beast, the remake, the live action, versus the animated one. These are my opinions, so I'm up for anyone else's opinions in the comments of anything I might have missed. It's actually interesting to hear other people's views. Um, Let's start off with the casting. Not okay. Emma Watson looks like Belle. She can't sing for shit. She can't. And even with that sound production that was over her voice, she still can't sing. Her acting has always been good, but they didn't give her much to go on, so she's bland. The original cartoon character of Belle was full of life and wonderment, and they just kind of took that out a little bit, and I'm kind of disappointed on that. The Beast, I will say this, he looks fantastic with CGI. He looks ugly in his makeup in the beginning. I'm like, are you sure he's not already the monster? Um, looks he looks uglier as human than a beast. I'm sorry. His voice. I think they chose well for that voice. Oh, what's his name? I don't know. Dan Stevens? I think that's Dan Stevens. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, excuse me. Got a burp in the middle of that one. His voice is big and booming, but in the animated version, the Beast is supposed to slowly reveal himself. That was a great intro to the Beast. Because before that, with the father of Belle's father, he was just, in the animated, you just see a shadow. And you kind of only saw a shadow in this one, which I think they did well on. But come on. The revealing of the Beast in the prison was awful. It was so rushed. The whole scene was rushed. What are you doing here? I came to see my father. Oh, well, that's too bad. Take me instead. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, go. It was like 2 minutes. There was like the original scene in the animated was longer than that. I think 3 or 4. But it's like the revealing is so important. They rushed that. He's just going, boom, with his face. And I'm going, okay, movie, you fucked up a little bit. But his song, Evermore, I really do love that song. Wonderful song. Beautiful, in fact. And I can see why it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Song. It didn't exactly win, which I could see why, because they had other great songs in the mix. But this song, I think, was... I'm not quite sure if it was written for the Broadway play originally, but it's such a good, beautiful song. It's great. That song is one of the most original songs I love. I love it. I love it. Now, let's get on to Lumiere. He Ewan McGregor is a good actor. I've always loved him as Obi-Wan, obviously. And people are going to hate me saying this, but I did like him in Moulin Rouge a little bit. His singing was... a British man trying to do a French accent. I knew that it wasn't terrible, but it was not up to par. Let's just say that. So basically, and I will say this for him. I will give him credit on the Be Our Guest song. People who know me know I absolutely despise that song in general. It went too long in the animated one. I was like, can we eat now? Fuck you. Stop putting on show. I really thought it was an annoying song. I really did. Oops. I hated it. The animated one, that's one of my least favorite songs in general. as well as Under the Sea. I hate Under the Sea. It's also very long. It's annoying. I hate it. People can shoot me all they want for that. I don't care. No. But I will give him Ewan McGregor credit for the Be Our Guest song. The way they filmed it and edited it, I did love that. This movie actually made me love the Be Our Guest song. In this movie, though. I was like, no, this is strange. I'm actually loving the song. It was better than the animated. I don't know. The animated was all over the place. Yes, the live action was all over the place too, but it was more. I don't know. I don't know. It was attention grabbing to me more than the others. But the singing was okay, I guess. Ewan McGregor, a British man, trying to sing in a French accent, that's kind of hard to do. So I will give him credit for trying. But I don't know. It's a weird one. Now let's talk about Ian. Fuck, I don't know his last name. Gandalf. I'm gonna call him Gandalf because everyone knows the actor is from Lord of the Rings as Gandalf. Everyone knows that. And Magneto from X-Men. Not his best movie, by the way, in the last couple of the X-Men movies. He was fantastic. Though he kind of sounds still like a deep villain in this. No, actually, I'll take that back. He was great as Cogsworth. I knew he was going to do well. Because he's got that kind of proper tone to his voice sometimes. In the movie, he made it proper. He has that deep voice still, but it's so proper in a way like, this needs to be done. Blah, blah, blah. The master isn't gonna like this. It's great. Then shut up, I'm doing a review. I'm gonna edit that out. He was great as Cogsworth. He was going, oh, this needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. And it did it properly. Even with that deep booming voice, it was great. So, I commend him for trying. I really do. And get off my screen. I'm going to edit that out too. Basically, I liked him as Cogsworth. I have no complaints about Ian as Cogsworth at all. I knew he was going to do great, as I said. Now, the other side characters... Oh, Mrs. Potts. I do like her. I do. She was great as Mrs. Potts. I forgot her... Shit, it's on the thing. Emma Thompson. She was great as Mrs. Potts. Emma Thompson always does well in every role she was in. She did another Disney movie. It was a live action, but it wasn't like this. It was a true story. It was about P.S. Travers. It's called Saving Mr. Banks. You may have heard of it. And I'll probably do a review on that too, because it was so well done. It doesn't have that silly, cartoony feel to it like even live action things like Enchanted. No, this was a really hard, true story. There was death in it, sort of off screen. There was sickness. There was very serious situations and controversies. It was literally a Disney film made for adults, but in a PG way. It was great. But yeah, she always does well in her roles. I would have, because she does have, one thing I'm disappointed in is she did not sing the Beauty and the Beast song. During the ballroom. That's supposed to be sung by Mrs. Potts. And they got the opera singer to do the song. I get she has a good voice, yes, but it's supposed to be Mrs. Potts. We hardly see Chip at all in this movie. Granted, he was kind of he actually was sort of a big part of this movie a little bit. in the animated one, at least he popped up. At least he had a few lines here and there and was actually in some scenes. In the animated one, you kind of forget about him, the boy who played him. And it's I don't know. I don't know. I really, really wish they had more of Chip. He was he was creepy looking, but he was adorable. Even Belle's father is like, right, I'm gonna go leave now. Creepy little teacup. He is creepy, but they could have had more of him. They did in one scene, but trying to disguise the boy actor as the Beast as a kid is not working, guys. But, who else? Gaston. Okay. I do love him. By the way, he played Bard in the Hobbit movies. The one who has the black arrows. Yeah. He played Gaston. He actually did well. The beginning. I've been having a sense of like I'm missing something. LeFou. Je ne sais quoi. And Gaston, I don't know what that means. I was like, okay, that actually does make sense because he would not know what that means. He's more of a muscle guy, like feel my peds, a type of thing, and he wouldn't know what words mean, even in the language that they're originally speaking in. And yes, it's supposed to set in France, so what the fuck is a bunch of English accent speakers doing in a French environment? Anyways. I have no complaints about Gaston. His scenes are rushed a little bit, but I did enjoy the Gaston song. They added a few extra lines for the movie, I guess, but I still enjoyed it. LeFou, on the other hand, I kind of figured he was gay since the animated one. Not when I was little. I didn't even know what the word meant, but as I grew older, I was like, is LeFou gay for Gaston? And I'm guessing the director got that sense too. And you get your... he's obviously not the first gay character, but to be honest, I was more interested in Gaston, if LeFou was going to get with Gaston, more than the Beast was going to get with Belle. Yes, I know, it's stupid, right? You should be paying attention to those two other than LeFou and Gaston. But I'm like, oh, LeFou, you're almost there. You can get him. You can do it. You can do it. I felt sorry for him. He wanted his senpai to notice him. In a way, he was his senpai because he learned from him. He followed him. He loved him, and Gaston's obviously not gay because he's a woman lover. But I was more interested in LeFou. I do. One of my favorite characters is LeFou. They chose the best actor for LeFou. The voice was up to par because even though it's Olaf from Frozen, he was perfect. He actually sounds and looks like the LeFou from the animated story. So, I have no complaints about LeFou at all. And, the opera singer, what the fuck is this brilliant lady doing in a mediocre movie like this? She is the only voice that has a beautiful opera singer voice. Where was she in Phantom of the Opera, for God's sake? She looks like she belongs on stage. Literally. But no, instead she's doing movies like this. She deserves better. She deserved better. Yeah, you hear her sing, but she's... Even in the chorus type of songs like Days in the Sun and other songs like The End, she drowns out everybody. Everyone's literally like the background when she starts singing in the middle of those songs, even in the chorus and harmony parts. You only hear her voice and no one else's. So I do love her voice. It's such a gorgeous voice. And she's a gorgeous woman. No. But that's the cast. The story. It's all over the place. Apparently, they tried. I will give them credit for trying to make it like. I'll give them credit for trying to make it like the animated one. But they rushed the goddamn movie and story. It's supposed to be longer than the animated movie. The animated version was only an hour and a half. They had 2 fucking hours. They had an extra half hour. But they added more stuff, yes, but they could have basically just went slower on the things. So basically, they rushed the whole thing. I'm like, instead of rushing, why don't you just take your time? You have 2 fucking hours. Oh, but we can't do that. What the fuck is up with that map? What the fuck? She's trapped in this castle. Thank you, Beast, for showing me the escape route out of your goddamn castle. After he showed her that, I would have been like, oh, I can go anywhere. I'd like to go home. Disappears with the map without him. Oh shit, I just let her go. Am I stupid? That could have happened. So thank you, Beast, for being a stupid idiot and showing a way out, even though she was too dumb to leave. I still... The fucking romance. It sucked. As I said, I was more into seeing if LeFou would get with Gaston more than the Beast with Belle. I'm like, this is more awkward than romantic. Granted, the ballroom scene I love because it's beautiful. The visuals, the dress they could have done better on. But, the romance was all over the place. It was, I don't know what was going on. I don't want to compare it to Star Wars, but it was kind of like Padme and Anakin. I love you so much. It was like that kind of talk. It was boring. I'm playing the boring card. It was boring. The romance was boring. The visuals, it was great CGI, yes. But, oh, God. I love the way that the characters looked as antiques. They did well with Cogsworth's style. They did well. They looked like actual antiques, but the faces on them were a little creepy. But I love how they tried at least to blend it in with the actual antiques to make it look like, I don't know, maybe you're seeing a face. But they did it wrong with Chip. Obviously, he looks creepy. But they did well with the piano, and Lumiere's form in the candlestick was brilliant. Just gorgeous. The costumes I get are supposed to... Get out. I get the costumes are supposed to be Baroque period, but oh my God. Does everybody have to wear wigs? Oh God. I don't know. But the environment. Let's talk about the set. It looked like it was a backdrop. A big backdrop behind the village, behind the castle. I don't like it. The castle I do love. But I saw it as kind of like a Tim Burton type of castle. But I do love the design of the castle. The animated movie, I want that castle. I want the animated movie's castle, please. Gargoyles were awesome. I loved how in the fight scene that he blended in with the gargoyles to hide from Gaston and sneak up behind. The fight scene was so rushed. As I said, you don't need to rush this movie. The original is only an hour and a half. close to only 45 minutes. And here with the live action, you've got a 2 hour. You've got another half hour. Stop rushing everything, please. Take your fucking time. The songs. Some of them sounded like they were just talking. Some of them had bad harmony. Days in the Sun had bad harmony. It's a beautiful song. I'm sure it's beautiful. But they did so awful with the harmonies. As I said, the opera singer's voice is just more noticeable than the actual other cast singing. Evermore has to be my favorite song out of the bunch, more than anything, because of how sad it is, and it actually sounds like a Broadway play type of thing. So I do not doubt it might have been originally written for the Broadway play. I'm not sure. If anybody knows that, please tell me, because I love that. I saw Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, but it was when I was in 4th grade. So I don't exactly remember if it was on stage at that moment. But I know Human Again was. I'm glad they didn't put that in the movie. That was awful. I didn't like it. But overall, this whole movie was so rushed. It's so rushed. I'm sure it could have been great, but like Cinderella and other live action movies, which I know they're going to do more of. I know they're doing a live action Aladdin and Lion King. That's going to be interesting. As I stop my sentence midway. Note to self, guys, don't try to rush it. Note to self, guys, don't try to rush it. Don't rush it. You're fine. You have time. I give them props for trying. There are some good, like in every movie, there's some good, some bad. But at this one, it was too rushed. That's my main complaint about this movie, is that it was too rushed. It was too rushed. And I was so looking forward to this movie. I had high expectations because the animated Beauty and the Beast, the original, it's been my favorite. It always has been. Even after this live action, it's still going to be my #1 favorite animated Disney movie ever. The animated one was flawless. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Just beautiful. No complaints, except for the human form at the end of the animated one. He just goes, I'm like, oh God, you're creepy. Can you turn back into a beast, please? Because you're creepy as a human. So, yeah, that's my only complaint about this one, is that it's too rushed. That's my biggest complaint, at least. Other than that, there are good aspects, like some songs are fun, I guess, like the Be Our Guest and Evermore. Some of the characters are enjoyable. I will give them all credit for trying to act with what little they had to work with. Costumes, the CGI was great. Settings were great. Costumes, a little bit okay. Some of them could have been better, but I do love some of the costumes. I do. I don't know. It's just, they've been rushing their live action remakes too often. Like, I think they rushed Jungle Book. Jungle Book was okay, I guess, but that's another review. But I don't know. Too rushed. Well, thank you for joining me on this review. I am up for any opinions on... I want to know your opinions on this movie, to be honest. If you think I've missed something or a certain point that makes me wrong, I am more than happy to read them, because I love other people's point of views. I'm not going to get butthurt. I mean, it's honestly a good thing to compare things. So yeah, comment below on suggestions on new movies, reaction, games I should play, theories, anything that I should talk about. And I will see you guys later. Stay sane.